Welcome back. We're going to give the people what they want. We're going to bicker about numbers. Let the bidding start, Trotter, with you. BYU against Alabama. Tell me who you got, and then Chris will tell you why you're wrong.
Absolutely.
For me, I'm going with For me, I'm going with Alabama, so I can't wait to see what Chris has about BYU. I think the fast guards in this game is going to be the thing I keep going back to. Mark Sears, LeBaron Philon, Aiden Holloway. All those dudes have jets. Like, they can really get it going off the bounce. And BYU, this backcourt, I have a lot of respect for Kevin Young, but they are a little bit longer, more than they are faster, right? You're going to see Mawot Mag on the floor, Trevin Knell, 6'7", 6'5" there. Richie Saunders is 6'5". Yegor Demon is around 6'9". I think the speed of Alabama could be a big thing I'm watching in this one. And then the other aspect about this defensively, Alabama's defense has started to trend in the right direction lately in the last month. They've been a top 20 defense in college basketball, and they've done it by taking away the three at a very high level. They do not let you get those drive and kick threes. That will be huge tonight against a BYU offense that wants to live and die by those kick out threes in their pick and roll.
All right, that's a compelling argument. Chris, you on board with that, or you got a different perspective?
Listen, I would have been on board with that maybe a couple of weeks ago. You know, I am a guy who's guilty. I must admit, I'm guilty of picking Alabama to get to the Final Four. But here is where I have an issue. Defensively, you just mentioned BYU and the numbers. Here's the thing about BYU. I've covered BYU this year. Kevin Young is an exceptional NBA coach. Same philosophy as Nate Oates. Get to the rim or shoot threes. But I'm telling you right now, Yegor Demon, right? He's the caveat in this thing that really could be the fly in the ointment, because if he can make threes, shoots a little around 30%, a big point guard, forget about the quickness of Alabama, right? Think about the size, and Richie Saunders can drive the basketball to the rim. Dallin Hall, those guys all get downhill, right? They have guys inside that can equal. Keita, those guys inside can equal what Traore. Like, they have size inside as well as shooters. You know, with Trevin Knell, like, I'm telling you right now, this team is really, really good. I've slept on this team, and I'm telling you right now, they're just as fast, and they can score with Alabama, which Alabama usually hasn't had to contend with a team that can score with them. So the question is, I've always said with Alabama, can they win in the mud? How about this? Can they win on the Indianapolis Speedway right now? Because this is the exact same way that BYU wants to play. And the last point I'll make, they come from the Big 12. So they've seen teams like Alabama. They're not going to be afraid. I don't know, man. I loved Alabama, but I'm trending here in BYU's direction.
Chris, I just want to welcome you to the party, because I've been trying to tell you guys since this bracket came out that BYU was not to be slept on, and now people are starting to understand what I'm talking about. And listen, I think Alabama's the favorite tonight, but I do think there's a path for a lot of the reasons you said for BYU to get to an Elite Eight. First of all, the last 6 weeks, they are 11-1. The only team that has beat them is Houston, and Houston does it with a slower, grinded-out tempo. Auburn plays at a fast tempo. That's the way BYU wants to play. I'm actually going to agree with you both here. Trotter, completely concur on the three-point defense point, but to Chris's point, if someone like Yegor Demon starts making threes, that's going to be the statistical upset, if you will, that Bamalytics, as they like to call it, is not anticipating. They need an outlier like that. If they can get it, I do think there's a path for BYU to get to an Elite Eight. I think they match up pretty well. And the other thing is this. I just don't know that this Alabama team, like, the pieces have really clicked just right all season long. I think, Trotter, to your point, it's going to have to be a defensive uptick, because offensively, listen, they're great, and Nate Oates has done everything you expect, but they're not playing the way Nate wants to play with 4 shooters on the floor. They're trying to make the most of a roster that is really talented but may not fit just right.